Yeah.
Bees, thank you so much.
Oh, beezing before Young Life. I forgot about beezing.
God, dude.
We were like, oh, dude, let's bees. We put Burt's
Bees
Bees
under our eyes.
Because it has like a...
Exfoliate, I don't know.
It has like some sort of mint.
We were just like, oh my god, this is the worst. We were just crying the whole time.
Hey, look, it's
I don't
nuts.
know.
You just did it?
Yeah.
No, it was like a thing. So, with that being
The
said...
only ones watching this is going to be the three of us.
Yeah, yeah.
In like a week.
And my mom.
Maybe Willis.
Yeah. But Chuck, you got a first story for us?
The first story I have was like week 2 or day 2 or 3 of college. There's this mill on the river that people, like we had seen videos of people like running and jumping off of.
Like super cool.
Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
probably, I mean like
I
how
think it's
high?
like 50, between 50 and 70 feet.
Like it's
Easy.
it's
from the top.
It's ridiculously high, and Nick and I were like, dude, we should totally like try and jump off of the mill. And we went to the mill and realized when we got there that we didn't know how to get to the top of the mill.
Right.
And so we tried to get to the top by going kind of inward, and once we got there we found like a little stoop that overlooked it, but it was probably like only like a 10 foot drop.
Yeah,
and we
yeah.
really wanted to get to like the
Right.
top of the mill. And so I was like, well, what if we go down the river, cut across the river, go up the other side of the mill, and then across the river the other way to the back side of the mill, because I'm pretty sure I saw some stairs back there.
Yeah.
Right.
No
So
stairs at all.
We walked.
And you need to know though, you need to know. The whole time, I was like, Chuck, this isn't it. Chuck, this is not the way.
I don't-
But I went. You went.
I don't remember you saying that, but I went around. We went around and we went across the mill, and everything was fine. But probably like it was probably like 10 feet away from these stairs that I saw. It wasn't like we were rock hopping anymore. There was like a distinct. This is a strong current.
Like there
That
was some
is
white
very-
water.
I mean, it's like they're not rapids, but like there are just
Right.
rocks sticking out all over the place, and like
It's very
if you
sketchy
go swimming down this, like you're gonna get
Impaled.
banged up.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be fun for you.
Injured at least, yeah.
And so I was like, I knew once I took my second step if I was gonna make it or not. But I couldn't take my second step if I hadn't taken the first one. So I
Right.
stepped into the current and I was like, oh, I feel pretty good about this. It's not that strong.
I didn't
And-
feel good about it. I stayed.
Yeah.
And then I took my second step and I turned and I looked at Nick and I said, oh,
That's exactly what
And the second I said that, I just like, I'm standing up, I just fell forward and just got sucked right in, and I was just going from rock to rock. I don't know how
Face
long.
first.
What were
Face
you
first.
doing?
Face first. Face first.
So Chuck is standing there by the mill in this current, and he can't move, but he looks at me and goes, oh shit. Falls face first, and he's going rock to rock down the rapid, and I'm like, so you need to know to get to where we were, it's rock hopping like Chuck said.
Yeah.
So there's no quick way for me to get back to one, so I'm like kind of like hopping from rock to rock. I'm like, Chuck's gonna die. Chuck's gonna die, because he's at the bottom, he's pinned against a rock.
I'm getting pushed,
And the
water
water's
is
just-
over me, pushing me. I'm like, if this
His
is a
feet
rock,
are in the air.
my head is right here, and my feet are sticking out of the water. And I'm like,
Safety first position.
I like
There you go.
roll and then just keep bopping around, and I end up on like a rock, and I'm like on my back. I look up and like both my chacos are gone, and I'm wearing this like green bathing suit. There's just a hole from the tie straps all the way down to where the pants end, and I was just bruised and bloody, and it was so terrible.
But you guys got to the top right
Nope.
there.
I made it
Oh,
there
no.
eventually, and then we went
Nope.
home.
Nope.
We went home.
I thought you guys had that picture.
That was
No, that
from
was-
the middle
that's
part.
like the first
Oh,
thing
you guys
we
were trying to
did.
get to the top.
Yeah.
we were trying to get to the top. We ended up just
Okay,
going
right.
home. We didn't get to the top.
Chuck was injured.
I was like, hey, I'm just ready to go to bed.
That's you got destroyed.
It was pretty
He
bad.
got rocked. He got
Yeah, yeah, he definitely got rocked.
Got rocked.
Well, that's funny because there was another time freshman year as well that he destroyed something else. You
So-
talk about that.
It
This
was
is actually
thank-
just stories about Chuck in college.
Thanksgiving. Honestly, I looked at the list.
Yeah,
and it
they're all
really
Chuck, Chuck,
is.
Chuck.
It's a lot.
Freshman year, my sister lived at the 5U house in Georgia College, and I was going to pick her up. We were leaving. It was that Tuesday night. We were going to drive from Milledgeville to Alpharetta. We had a flight in the morning. We were going to go spend Thanksgiving with my family in Arizona, and I went to go pick her up, and I like parked at the top of her driveway, and got out of my car, walked in, grabbed her bags. I was talking to her roommates for a while. I mean, it probably was like 5 to 6 minutes. Like, I was in there for a while. And I walk out, and they had this white picket fence that separated their house from their neighbor's house. And I see my car just slowly start to just roll down the hill, and this white picket fence was right in the middle of my car, and my car just starts going straight through this fence. My sister noticed it before I did, and I busted after my car to try and stop it. I like jumped in the driver's seat and like stopped the car, but at that point like the entire fence was destroyed. My front bumper was like hanging off. So I like put the car in reverse, went up to the top of the driveway, snapped off my bumper, threw it in the trunk, grabbed Maggie's stuff, and I was like, okay, we need to go. Drove all the way from Milledgeville to Alpharetta. It's like 2.5 hours of driving. Get there, go to the airport, we leave. The next morning, our family friends that were staying at our house for Thanksgiving were like, hey, all 4 tires are flat in your car. There was pieces of fence like in the car, and the car was lost. We lost the car.
That was a good one.
That was not a good.
But
one.
we also then like from then on we saved the piece of
They were
fence.
well because what happened was no one did anything about the fence.
Right.
I was like,
Because they
hey,
didn't know whose-
I called the
whose property
police.
it
I
was
did a
on.
police
That's right.
report. They were like, we don't know whose fence it is.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, well when someone knows, like let me know. I still to this day have not been contacted about the fact that I drove my car straight through this white picket
And the
fence.
fence is still gone.
It's our piece of that fence though, because it was funny because when we went to college, it was like it's one of those things you don't notice, but it's there.
Right.
And then
When it's not there.
that was your doing, like because that is no
I
longer
walk
there.
past that like every day,
And-
it's not there, and no one knows about it.
Right, except for us. And then we saved a piece
There, I have
of
a
the
huge
fence.
chunk of it in my room, and it says "Never Forget" and the
It's
5
5
symbol.
on it.
I still have that piece
Oh,
of
man.
fence, but I still don't have that car.
That's sad. But it's fun.
But it's fun.
A picket fence, a diamond ring, a life worth living, a love worth giving away, a heart that sings for today.